Hello YouTube, my name is Yamakar and I'll be your chef for episode 2 of my Pasta Mega Base series. In this episode, we hopefully get green science up and running. I think we should be able to do that. We should probably fix our defenses a little bit too. And go from there. But right now we are working on inserters, which are... they look okay. We got green chips automated, which is kind of super nice. But our resources are way too slow. So we are going to have to boost that. So we're going to snag some resources there and make some more furnaces. So we're going to have to upscale our factory pretty quickly. And make more of everything. Faster, stronger, better. I was asked in the comments why I do the spacing on my furnace setup. And I will very simply tell you why I do my spacing is because if you space your furnaces like this and you place a not great power line right in the middle, it powers everything perfectly. So you can put long inserters on in between here. Well, probably just use a long inserter and show you. You can put a long inserter right here. And you can pull from both lines and offload. And it's just nice and clean. If you put everything right on top of each other, you can't really do that and it gets... kind of messy fast, so I always like to add one little space in my setup. So, there you have it. Why I do that. Okay, let's go grab some belts. Some of our automated belts. And we should also explain this little bit of combat that we have going on here right now. So we have killed a few biters, not very many. And I very predictively knew that they were going to come attack me from there. So if you push M, it pulls up the mini-map. And you can click on this little thing right here. It's called pollution. And it will show you how much pollution you're generating. So I was able to tell that my pollution cloud, just based off experience, was going to hit these guys around the 40-minute mark. Which it pretty much did. So it hit right here. And this colony right here is now eating my pollution. Now it's because it's eating my pollution, it's triggering an attack. So the biters are now coming to try and fight me. So these turrets kill the biters that are trying to fight me. Typically, the biters come out where the pollution cloud comes from. So if the pollution cloud is coming from around here, they're going to try and beeline at that location. So that is why I put my turrets where I put them as well. A little bit of explanation behind why I do what I do. And just a little bit of experience taught me that this is probably where I want to set it up. So... that is the answer to that. Steel processing tech, going pretty fast. Make some body armor. I really wish I turned research Q on. I probably should have done that, but we all can't be perfect. Just mostly perfect. You can click and drag, and it will space your power line out at maximum interval to power all the buildings under its umbrella. So you can just click and drag. You do not have to click every time, which is a kind of nice feature. We'll kind of connect that line in there. And good to go. We probably should grab a few more turrets and maybe protect this section of our factory. I am actually going to push our turrets up a bit. Just to give myself a little bit more space building around here. I'm going to rip those up. Put a belt right here. And build a very, very primitive defensive line. So now that we have this like this, I can actually just pull ammo directly off the belt. Probably need to power that. And there we go. So ammo is going to get offloaded by this fast inserter there. And these turrets are going to grab the ammo and defend my factory. Actually should all go up just a little bit more. It might seem I'm being a little bit particular here, but they're going to interrupt my belts right there, so... just a very quick defensive line here. Very, very quick. Nothing crazy. Straight to the point. So each turret is going to pick up 10 ammo. So once this gets 10 ammo, it's going to stop picking up ammo and let the other turrets get some. I can just manually drop some in there, and that works as well. So these are not quite crafting yet because they're missing gears. So we can dump some assemblers here and grab some gears. With our shadow placement. We do have more iron coming now. So our furnaces are all working, it looks like. Beautiful. How's our power looking? Clicking on a power line will tell us that we're okay. We're not winning any awards for wow, so much power generated, but it is working. Gonna grab our gears, and we'll just offload them like this. So now we are making inserters. I feel like the belts are building too slow for me right now. We want more belts. We, the people, demand more belts. We'll put a space in between again. We'll keep doing the double space setup. I feel it works pretty well, and it's kind of nice looking, so we'll keep up with that. Right click to do 5 at a time if you're into that. And there we go. Green science. So this is a little bit easier for me to do because I kind of knew exactly what I was doing. Looks like that turret got attacked. Took a little bit of damage, but I think it only took damage because this guy didn't have any ammo. But we'll beef up our defenses by adding an extra turret there. Okay. Okay. So we're going to offload the green science long, and we're going to snake it into here. Use a bit of belt mechanics to do that. So our red science is on the top of the belt, and the green science is going to be on the back side of the belt. So we put our inserter right there. And green will offload there. Green does not have belts yet, so it won't work. But we'll fix that in just a minute. So my iron is still too slow. So this whole setup of iron is not enough. So another thing we can do, which is kind of fun, is we can put iron on both sides now. We actually have inserters automated, so I do not have to craft them like this. I can just go pick some up. Push F on the belts to pick up items off the belt. That's a great hotkey for everybody. Just pull all the items off the belt. So one thing I know with this belt setup is there's not going to be enough iron at some point to feed all these furnaces. So there's a few ways of dealing with that problem. I have a couple of personal ways I like to deal with it that I enjoy the most. I'm going to do that. Kind of works there. So we see that this is a full line. It's mostly saturated. Maybe not completely saturated. But we're giving it a line which is a yellow belt. And a yellow belt supports 15 items a second. That's on both sides. So on this half side, it's only 7 a second coming down. So we're giving it a belt initially of 15 a second if it was totally full, which it is not. And we're throttling it to a half belt down there. So what we need is another input later on down the line, because only 7 a second can get down this line, and eventually it'll die. You do not need as much coal as you do iron. So what you can do here is do a secondary input. So it's very very calculated in how I set this up here. Is I put the iron on the back side. It doesn't really matter if it's on top or bottom, but we're gonna have to run a belt and kind of connect it in like that. So this section here gets all this iron, and it goes down to here, and it's pretty much empty by the time it gets down there. But now we have a secondary input, which allows another 7.5 per second to go down. It's a little bit of ratios. A lot of people do it and might not understand why they're doing it, but that explains why we're doing it. The more you know. So now we technically have 15 a second for this whole section of belt and iron, and only 7.5 a second on the coal because it's only half a side. Looks like everyone's happy now. All our furnaces are happy. Build a few more. We'll keep up with the double spacing. This is my preferred way of doing it. I just think it always looks clean to do it like this. I'd be curious to hear everyone else's preferred methods for their iron setup, but their initial iron setup anyways. Things kind of change later on once you get a little more established, but initially that is kind of how I like to go. So we do want to eat this entire deposit, and I do not want to pick up these chunks of rocket. This is just a personal me thing at this point. I like the rocket. And we still do not have green science automated yet. We're getting there. We just need belts. So we're halfway there. Well, actually probably more than halfway. We did the hard part already. Looks like we have 700 iron under here, hiding. Just for all those completionists, we'll mine that out for everybody. Okay, gonna grab all that stone. I'm actually going to belt the stone here. Over this way. Something I don't normally do, but I feel might as well do it anyways. You're like, what are you about to do? What witchcraft is this, Mr. Yamakara? I'm gonna automate furnaces. You need so many of them. Might as well automate it. So now we have a chest, and we don't want the chest to completely fill up. So here I don't mind if this fills up with stone. Doesn't really matter to me. It's gonna mine it on the ground anyways, so mine away. But here I don't want 50, 100, 150, 200, etc., etc. 200 furnaces is probably more than enough, and I know it stacks up to 50. So you can click this X and limit the chest. So now the chest can only fill up to this point. So we'll have 200 furnaces max. We don't need a million furnaces. We want a few, but we don't need a million. Now I click on the power, and it is not keeping up anymore. That's okay. That is A-okay. And I can check this here and notice that it's also not keeping up. So this building is done crafting, and it's screaming at me for more iron plates. A few ways to fix that. Here's one way. So now we have 2 feeding it, and it is happy. Is that the optimal way? Not really. We get a fast inserter, which is actually faster. And now this guy can do all the work that those 2 were doing on their own. So some buildings need faster inserters. Like this right here. It's okay because there's 2 buildings feeding it, but it's still a bit slow on the copper cable. You can tell just by looking at it like that. Just a little bit too slow. Not a lot, but just a little. So we're going to do this. Put you right there. We're going to grab these guys. Put you right there. Grab some of those. And then give it some coal. I don't want to actually give it the wood. I'll give it the coal. I don't want to give it the wood. Why? Because I still need to make power lines. And power lines demand wood. So we need a few more pipes. I don't have enough pipes on me right now. Well, let's grab a couple more pipes. I'm okay waiting on my science to not go right now. Not the end of the world. We'll do some basic technology, and our turrets are still fighting, so it's working well here right now. Inserters look great. Then we'll continue with our spacing. 2 buildings, power line, 2 buildings, power line. Because it just works nicely. I think it's one of my preferred beginner setups. It just looks so clean. We're gonna rip some of these out for a second, and now we're gonna make some belts. And boost our science production. So this is not a great setup. I won't lie. This is very compacted for what it is. If you're a first-time player, I do suggest you do yourself the favor and give yourself lots of space. Spread out your buildings and don't build on top of yourself. You don't benefit anybody, and the map again is infinite, so give yourself a little bit of space. I kind of, well, first off, I played a little bit, so I can get away with doing stuff that makes no sense. But I like kind of condensing my factories personally. But it makes expansion super hard later on. So if you can avoid it as a newer player, spread your stuff out. You're going to need more. You always need more. Okay, that works there. Now we're going to do something else here. We're going to do an output priority on the bottom. What that does is, this belt now, we can tell it's all on the top. We don't want it all on the top. We want some on the bottom. So these two buildings are always going to unload on the bottom of the belt now. They drop on the top, but then they go into the splitter, and the splitter forces it to go down, and then it goes on the bottom rung of this belt. And now we have items on both sides. Beautiful. So now we're making both the items we need for science. So we got inserters and belts. So now everybody's happy. So we now have green science automated. Beautiful, beautiful green science. We have a base that's very not defended. We have some biters that are aggressing me. So what I might do is go kill them right now. We do a little bit of combat. Very exciting. I'm also going to automate assemblers. It's a great building to automate. You always need assemblers. And all the items we need are actually right here for assembler automation. Although it looks like the iron is not keeping up anymore. It's totally murdered. But our power is good, in other news. So we're going to grab some gears. Grab some iron. And make some assemblers. Now we're going to make an assembler that makes assemblers. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of space here to allow some further belt manipulation in the future if I need to. And we do not need two buildings making assemblers. Not at this point anyways. There's no way that I'll build faster than required with our current setup. Two should be plenty for this scenario. Put you right there. It's waiting on iron plates. So we'll pick those off the belt and dump it in there. So our iron setup that we have here is not enough. Looks like it's all working. It's just not enough iron. So what I'm going to do, because I'm a little bit worried about the bottom of the factory, I'm going to pick up all those ammos. All those ammos. All of those ammos. Great English. And I'm going to put a turret down here. I'm a little bit worried that we're going to get attacked down here. We do have trees that eat pollution, but nothing better than just some good old-fashioned turrets. I like to always group them up a little bit. Kind of defend each other. And we'll do a bit of this. Another way you can do is you can right-click the stack and separate half of them. A few ways of inventory management here. So right-click, and it splits the stack in half. And there we go. So if we go map, and I click on my turrets, I can see my coverage. These red circles are where my turrets are covering. So if I get attacked from the bottom, I'm fine. If I get attacked from the side, they can sneak past me. Which is probably not ideal. So we'll snag a few more turrets in there too. And then I can tell that this is actually full. So we'll do our good old belt manipulation here again. And force these items to go on the top. So these ones are going to offload on the top. Just thinking how I want to do this here. Now this is my second setup of iron. So we have a full saturated line here. So it looks like it's good. Everyone's happy. And one thing we didn't do is we didn't limit that chest. So that chest is going to be making as much as possible. It's going to be making those forever and ever. But one thing I do want to do is I want to make a few more turrets. Place you right here, make some gears for those turrets. Kind of automated, but not really automated. Well, actually, we could really automate it if we really wanted to. Do we want to really automate it? So put you there. Put you there. Put you there. And now it can grab all the items. It grabs the copper, grabs the iron, and we got our gears right there. You can make me some turrets. We'll go with 2 stacks. 2 stacks. Good, good, good. Looks like my labs are now too slow. So I check my buildings here. I can see that my science is backing up, which means that this building is too slow. So, gonna grab the items required, throw it in an assembler, lazy bastard style. Just grabbing all the items I need and dumping it in here. So now this building is making labs for me. I can place a few more labs down. Oops. Got him. You really don't want those guys eating your factory. It's very prohibitive on your goal of expanding. Kind of slow you down a bit when they're eating your factory. So preferably build a little bit of defenses. The bigger your factory is, the more you pollute. And the more you gotta defend. Doo, doo, doo. That is looking beautiful. Got a few labs up and running. Hear the static. Doing static things. You have the cackle of the electricity, I guess. Okay, there we go. Got a bunch of labs. That's looking great. I'll pick this building up. I don't need that there anymore. We are getting a little bit attacked here, and they're doing a little bit of damage, but not enough to really warrant concern, I don't think. Could do military 2 at this point, which gets me better ammo, but I feel that's kind of unnecessary at this point. So we will do a better assemblers. Just build stuff faster. I will put this here and make a little bit more ammo, because it seems my ammo is a little bit lackluster here. And we have the iron for it anyway, so no problem. But the copper, on the other hand, I broke it. So we'll fix the copper. Cancel that. Build a bunch of these. Missing iron again. So now I can see that this furnace is not working. So if you look at the furnaces for a second, you should see the glow of the furnace. If you don't see the glow, it means it's stopped. Like this here. There's a couple reasons why I can stop on an assembly line, and this almost stopped because it was full. So, lots of extra resources there to steal. And I promised to show you this setup, and then I never did it. This is how I always used to do my furnaces when I was a new player. And still as a more veteran player, I actually prefer this setup. It's just more work and slower to get up and running. But I do think it's a better setup. It's a lot easier to add to the lines, and it's super clean. Super clean. So clean people might not even recognize me. And that is my preferred smelting setup. But I don't do it a lot. Probably should do it more, but that's okay. Okay, so we're making iron here. Iron's looking great. But actually, I don't want iron anymore. I'm reneging. I'm reneging. So we're going to do with this, especially because it's running on my copper. It's kind of gross. I'm going to change my belt direction. At any point in Factorio you don't like what you did, pick it up. No harm, no foul. Doesn't matter. Nothing is permanent. Pick it up and move it along. Move along now. I'm looking for furnaces. Steal some of those. Put that there. Grab a couple more of those. Grab some furnaces. Yeah, it's a lot of furnaces. None of that's working anymore, and that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna place a few of these down here. Newer players are going, what are you doing? Veteran players are like, oh, I know what he's doing. This is an interesting way of doing it. I don't normally do this either. And this is for my steel setup. There's a pro and a con for doing it this way. And I haven't really fully explained myself yet. If you belt your iron first, you can keep your excess iron and kind of bring it back into your factory. So, what's happening here is iron plates turn into steel. More senior Factorio players will do it this way. See if the building making iron right here, or iron plates, and then the iron plates are going directly into another furnace to make steel. So it's because it is a 1-to-1 ratio. So now these furnaces are making steel for me. Gonna grab this. We're gonna put a splitter right here. And have half of it go there and half of it go down. Splitter be right here and then kind of do a loop-de-loop in. So, I have half my coal here and then the other half here. So this is now making steel. It's kind of a messy way of doing it, but it kind of works. Also down here, I want one more of these. I don't want that many. Stop. Stop. This is why you don't right click. But one at a time. This one right here. Go one more down. Goes right here. Need a few more of these guys. The benefit to doing it this way is I can use that excess iron line at some point. So if I don't pull my steel, I can use my extra line. The other way, your iron's kind of permanently committed to the steel, and you can never use it as a byproduct elsewhere. This way, I let my overflow go somewhere else in the factory, and I can use it there. So we're making steel here. And if this stops for some reason, because we're full, or we don't need any more, or something like that, this should work like this. The overflow can go elsewhere. In this scenario, it goes right there. So these guys are not working right now. And my overflow is just going up into here. Easy. A little bit of planning. I guess you don't really have to do it that way, but who wants to plan? If you make your factory redundant enough, you don't really have to plan it. It just works. I guess it's a different way of planning, I guess you could say, too. Grab that. More than one way to plan. Plan to overproduce and then let it spill over into the other resource pile. Kind of what that plan is. Is there a right or wrong way of doing it? I don't think so. As long as it works. I'm going to do an output priority. Copy that and then switch it down. It's just been faster to do it myself, but that worked. That worked. Put you guys here. So now we are making steel. And it is slow. Steel is super slow. We are fighting again. A little bit of a pile up on aisle 3 over there. And that's okay. Probably automate underground belts in a minute. But now we got our steel up and running, which is kind of great. And we need to bring it into the factory. I guess technically, regardless of where it is sort of in the factory, but we need to bring it up to where we're crafting. Where we're doing all of the things. All of these are dead. Not working anymore. Give you my stone back. I don't need it. You go there. So this is working. This is working. Everyone's happy. Looks happy. Happy, happy, happy. This is... Looks like my coal actually is not enough anymore. We did start adding a few nodes here and there. I'm not super happy I'm building on my coal node like this. It's kind of not the move. You typically don't want to build on your node like this. Especially because I don't know where any other coal is. I know there was some more somewhere around here, but I don't remember where it was. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and divert this line. Divert. Divert. So I can harvest more of this coal. Because we want coal. Last thing I want is to run out of coal. So you notice there I didn't directly connect this belt. I mean, it's for good reason. This has 8 mining drills. 4 on each side, and this is 2. These 2 aren't really going to get expanded on this section here, and if I go straight, I now force this to side load, and this goes straight in. So I'd rather force these 2 to side load as opposed to these 8 here. So those 8 side load, they're going to eventually jam up on me. And we don't want that, so... go like this. Make sure that this has kind of priority over here too. And everybody looks happy. Happy, happy, happy. I'm gonna grab one of these. That's 5, actually. That's not 1. So at this point, I would normally consider moving my labs. No harm, no foul relocating them either. You got the entire world to place stuff around. Maybe something like that. There we go. It's out of the way. I have a little bit more availability on this coal node now. You'll see this one here is mining both stone and coal. Try to avoid that. You can use splitters to split the item out of it as well. So the stone goes this way and the other one goes the other way, but that's not ideal. So you can push the C button to shoot. Or if you're near biters, you can hold spacebar and it will like kind of auto shoot at the closest one. Obviously auto shooting is the preferred method of combat. It's a little bit worrying they kind of came in on the side there. So I'm gonna fix this for a second. They weren't able to kill anything, so... Actually, that's not true. They killed some power lines and stopped half the factory. They didn't kill any of this stuff, though. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some better armor and go fight them. We know they came from over there somewhere. Where? I don't know. Somewhere over there. Gonna grab the steel. Make a set of heavy armor. Grab a few more bullets. And then go fight them. I'll meet my enemy head on in Mortal Kombat. Grab all this awesome ammo. We'll kill this nest first. It's right here anyways. A few ways of fighting. You can stand around and fight. Or you can do what they call turret creeping. I prefer to do a kind of a blend, I guess. So what we're doing here is... I know I'm going to be fighting them in a second. And I can't really kill this many by myself. So I place the turrets around. And kill them. Like that. Easy. And then the other guy ran away from me. But you make a base before you kind of get established in fighting. And then the back turrets will defend you as you kind of creep up on the base. If you kind of just aggressively push up at them, you might get caught fighting them all by yourself. It's a lot harder to place everything down while you're in the middle of a fight. You get fish and eat fish to kind of give yourself some hit points back, but it's easier if you just go in properly defending yourself. So they attacked this last time. So they're actually right there. I saw you. I saw you. So what I don't want is them to attack while I'm not here. Kind of annoying when that happens. You're in the middle of an epic combat fight. And then these guys kind of sneak up on you. So we can check the mini-map. Look at the pollution, and I probably assume it's coming there. Because the pollution cloud is actually going on top of that nest. So we'll go kill them there. Run, little man, run! And this is the rock I was talking about at the very beginning. If you get the deconstruction planner and hover it, you can see that they're getting coal and stone at the beginning. So 37 would go a long ways. It's 5 per furnace, so 37 is... that will pay the bills for a while. Put you there. Grab a few more of these guys. So those friendly turrets behind me are actually defending me while I shoot this. Not the best way of doing it, but that clearly worked. The best way of doing it. Probably push the turret up a little bit first. So now I have a bit of a base. Good luck, biters, dealing with that. Smooth execution. Smooth. Okay, I think they're dead. I think we got them. Poor biters. A little bit overkill, but yeah, we took a little bit of damage, and it was a clean fight there. No problem. You can also upgrade your ammo to the better ammo, or use a shotgun. Shotgun's pretty strong too, but why fight when your turrets can do it for you? One thing I do know, though, is we're not making enough science. We're teching really slowly right now. I'm gonna build a few more labs. And boost our science a little bit here. And then we need to start considering making the next sciences. So, I didn't really mean to do that, but that's okay. Also, that should not be that. So you go here, you're going to go there, you're going to go there, you're going to go there, there. And we know that we have assemblers automated, so I can just grab more assemblers in 2 seconds. Right here. Give me my assemblers. Go dump this line a little bit farther, my defensive line. I don't really want to lose these buildings here. Got better things to do with my time. Like eradicate biter nests. The real menace of this planet. Okay, so that defends that. Don't really need walls at the very beginning. Walls are a bit overkill. As long as your turrets overlap each other with their arcs of fire. At least if you lose a turret, they'll kind of jump to the next turret. And if they all kind of defend each other, then you'll be okay. You'll be just fine. So science is done. We are going to tech faster now. A long inserter here. A long inserter. So there we go. So an okay amount of science being produced right now. Once we get our labs up here up and running. Set up. We should be better. Put you there, you there. That's beautiful. I'm going to grab a splitter, which is coming in about a week here, it looks like. Next is probably automating underground belts and splitters. It's always a good one to automate. My red science is also not keeping up either right now, it looks like. Super easy to boost that. Yep. So we're actually inserting long, which is kind of... kind of meh. Not a huge fan of inserting long always, but that works like that. Perfect. Also make better assemblers, which craft at a speed of 0.75 versus a speed of 0.5. You see that in the very bottom right there. That was a crafting speed. So we can build a little bit faster if we're kind of into that. Grab some of our steel here. Now one thing I like to do with steel at the very beginning is if you're making it already, is to actually chest it. Now, what us veteran Factorio players will call this is buffering. Now, that means when I need my steel, I'll have a chest that'll be able to offload a ton of steel. So I'll be able to kind of ramp up my production a lot faster than it should be, just because I had a buffer of it sitting around, waiting to be utilized. It's kind of like inflation. Can't really handle it, but it will work for a bit. Inflating your production numbers. Okay. I'm gonna push this up to here a little bit, just to get us a little bit more science producing. We have the resources to do this, so might as well ramp things up a bit. Put you there, you there, you there. You're gonna go there. Perfect. Perfect. Looks like my inserters are too slow right now. My inserters are too slow because there's no iron. Absolutely no iron anymore. I think my ammo is stealing it all. So, either we boost our iron, we get more raw resources, because it looks like that's also not keeping up anymore. Or we do something. Something has to change. We also have the next tier of belt, which is called fast belts. So we got transport belts and fast belts now. And they are actually twice the speed, so they transport 30 items a second, which Pretty fast. Let's steal these. We're gonna make a few of these fast belts. Not so bad to craft if you're stealing all the gears off this line. Grab that. And then we will make some of these guys next. Another good item to automate. Your mining drills. Mining drills are actually automated in the exact same way as the assembler. So if you built an assembler right here, you can also make a mining drill right next to it. With no extra effort. All the same items. So if I were to give this some iron, which we could just steal from down here. And we gave it some gears, which I don't have any left because I stole them all. That will make me some mining drills. Good old mining drills. So I definitely want some more gears. I'm going to steal the gears from here. I want the mining drills to start building for me. I don't really want the copper, so we'll just dump the copper right there. I'll take a little bit. Just a little bit of copper. Make some power lines. Red belts are 70 now, which is... it's fine. You go there, and then we'll get some mining drills. 7 already automated. Probably limit that again as well. Cars are finished. Trains are next. We're probably not going to do trains for a little bit. Maybe episode... I don't know. Episode 7, 8, something like that. I normally don't do trains for a little bit, and then when I start my trains, I kind of ramp everything up. I'm just going to sneak over here for a second. Grab you, grab you, grab you. Connect that into there. Grab these, which I don't have any more of. I'm going to grab these few red belts that I do have. And we're going to speed this up here. Oops. So you go there. I'm just getting just a little bit more, and steel's still producing, and everyone's just kind of happy right now. So, on that note, I do think I will stop the episode. I'll try and keep them around the 40 to 50 minute mark. And we shall continue on with next episodes. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I'd love to hear your comments on how you set up your smelters. Which setup do you like better, the top or the bottom variant? And yeah, until next episode, this is Yamakara, building pasta since, I don't know, 2018, I think I've been playing this game? 2017? Ciao for now.